Welcome back to 4th Grade Mission Memoirs podcast. I'm Miss Hampson, and I get the privilege of teaching social studies to our fabulous 4th graders. I'm joined here today with Miss Evelyn Kennedy. Evelyn, you want to say hi?
Hello.
Evelyn wrote an amazing podcast interview all about her mission to celebrate the unit and her project, and so we would love to share it. Evelyn, you want to share it with everybody?
Yes.
Awesome. All right, we're going to go ahead and start. Welcome to another episode of Hampson's Preppy Podcast. Today, I am so honored to have a very special guest on my show. She's going to share a sneak peek of her new video she is going to launch on Saturday. Please welcome YouTube sensation, Evelyn Kennedy.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm a loyal fan of your podcast. I listen every week.
Thank you so much for coming. I'm a huge fan of your videos too. Also, congrats on reaching 1 million subscribers.
Thank you so much. I love my followers, aka my besties.
I could barely sleep last night. I was so excited to find out about your new video. I'm on the edge of my seat and dying to know about your new launch. So let's get to it. What can you tell us about it?
Okay. I like to keep my followers on their toes all the time. Rather than my usual get ready with me or haul videos, I decided to kick it up a notch with this one. I took a historical turn and I'm doing a haul video, but mission style.
Mission style? Wait, what? What are you even talking about?
Well, do you know, starting in 1769, Franciscan missionaries established a chain of 21 missions up the coast of California?
Yes, I know a little bit about it, but I forget. What does Franciscan mean?
Well, Franciscan is an order of the Roman Catholic Church. If Franciscan just means someone is a follower of St. Francis of Assisi. I was a little confused with of Assisi, but Assisi is just a city in Italy. So it would be like calling you St. Hampson of San Juan. Fun fact, all Franciscans are called friars, which means brothers. If a friar is also a priest, they are called padre, like the San Diego Padres, which means father.
Does your video talk about all 21 missions?
No. That would take way too long to edit. My video is only about the 18th mission, which is Mission San Luis Rey de Francia. It's in Oceanside, only about 40 minutes down the freeway. In the San Luis Rey River Basin, its location was chosen because it took friars too long to travel between Mission San Diego and Mission San Juan Capistrano. They needed a place in between. Oh my gosh, that reminds me. My first haul item from the mission is a stylish king's cape because San Luis Rey is called the king of the missions. It was the largest of all 21. It covered the most land, was the richest, and had the most people. At its peak, it had a herd of 50,000 cattle and sheep, is nearly 3,000 Los Años.
Lusueños? What are those?
Lusueños is what the Spanish called the native people of the land. Before the Spanish friars came to establish the mission, native people lived on the land. Actually, my second haul item is this basket because the Lusueños were great basket weavers. The museum had lots of baskets on display.
Whoa. I'm obsessed with baskets. Please tell me more.
I'm obsessed with baskets too, and so are the Lusueños. We're triplets. The baskets each had a unique use, collecting acorns, carrying laundry, lots of different uses. I did an audio tour, and it said it could take up to 3 months just to make one basket.
Wow, that's insane. The Lusueños sound like really patient people. What about other people, like the founder of the mission? Did you learn anything about him?
Yes, the mission was founded on June 13th, 1798 by Father Firmin Lusuen and was named after King Louis IX of France. The founder then chose Father Antonio Perry as the chief administrator of the mission.
Chief administrator? Is that different than the founder?
Such great questions. This is why I love your podcast so much. Subscribe if you haven't already. For this mission, yes, the founder is very different. The founder, Father Lusuen, picked the location and stayed for 3 days to do some ceremonies, and then his job was pretty much done. Father Perry, on the other hand, oversaw the whole construction and ran the place for 33 years.
Geez, then I guess I shouldn't just ask about the founder. Can you tell me more about Father Perry?
Sure. Father Perry was only 29 years old when he was appointed. He became one of the most outstanding church leaders of all the missions. It is said that when he was forced to leave after the Mexicans took over California, hundreds of neophytes followed him, begging him to stay. When Father Perry left, he took 2 Indian boys with him to further their education and study priesthood. One of the Indian boys was named Pablo Tac.
I have heard of Pablo Tac before. Did he do something special?
Yes, he wrote about his life on the mission. Another haul item for me is this book he wrote. His book is special because lots of history is based on the Spanish view of what happened on the missions. Pablo Tak was a Lusitania boy born at Mission San Luis Rey and wrote some of the only writings we have from the native perspective in his own words.
This is all so interesting. You mentioned Father Perry left with Pablo Tak when the Mexicans took over California. What happened to the mission when the Mexicans took over?
Mexico won freedom from Spain in 1821. It wasn't until 13 years later that the Mexican government took over the missions and kicked out the Spanish priests. That's called secularization. That's why Father Perry left. He was kicked to the curb. Can you imagine spending 33 years building something and then being forced to leave?
That would be so hard. Can you tell me and our listeners more about secularization?
Sure. When the Mexican government took over the missions and got rid of the Spanish, the mission land was supposed to go back to the native people, the Luiseños. But instead, the Mexican leaders sold most of the land to family and Mexican friends. This left the Luiseños without much land and left the mission abandoned. That's why it takes me to my next haul item, a penny of Abraham Lincoln.
Honest Abe, how is he connected to all of this?
Abraham Lincoln gave the mission buildings back to the Catholic Church, ending secularization. The museum at San Luis Rey has the original copy of the document with Abraham Lincoln's real signature. I thought that was pretty cool to think that Abraham Lincoln actually signed that exact piece of paper.
Wow, I need to visit. That sounds really cool. Oh, my producer is telling me we need to wrap up. For my last question, were there any other things that you think make the mission worth visiting?
Oh yes, the pepper tree. The original mission quad is home to the first pepper tree in California. Some brought a seed from Peru and planted it there. I got this coin from the gift shop. It says, first pepper tree in California. The pepper tree was beautiful.
I have a pepper tree in my yard.
Me too. Besties. And the last sneak peek haul item is this cross. San Luis Rey Chapel is the only missions church still standing in California that was built in the shape of a cross. The church is still active and has services daily. The church is also the large art collection, including the stations of the cross, which I found to be really moving.
Wow, I feel so informed on Mission San Luis Rey. I can't wait to see your whole video when it drops on Saturday. This mission sounds amazing, and I'm planning my trip now.
It really is amazing. Thank you so much for having me as a guest. And it's been an honor being on your podcast. Tune in my YouTube drop on Saturday. I can't wait to show you the lavanderia, soldier barracks, the cemetery, and tell you about this cool gorilla I got in the gift shop.
You know I'll be watching. Thanks again for tuning in to Hampton's Preppy Podcast. That was Evelyn Kennedy's podcast. Amazing. Evelyn, what are you most proud of?
I'm most proud of that I recognize that you don't have to be boring when you're learning about information. You could also make it fun.
Yes. Did you think the podcast was fun to write?
Very.
Yes. I think it was fun. We got to present it in front of a live audience too during the actual mission presentations. Yeah. They were laughing pretty hard, weren't they? Mm-hmm. Very entertaining. Okay, awesome. Well, that is our podcast for today. Thank you for tuning in to Mission Memoirs. Evelyn, you want to say bye to everybody?
Bye.
Thank you. We'll see you next time. Bye.
This episode has been a production of the Capistrano Valley Christian Schools Podcast Network. CVCS is a Christian TK-12 school in San Juan Capistrano, California. Please visit cvcs.org/podcasts to listen to the variety of shows our students produce on our campus. You can also find all of our shows on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, and others. We would also appreciate you subscribing to and leaving a review of this show and the other shows on our network in your podcast player of choice. If you have any questions or would like to reach out to us, please email podcasts@cvcs.org. On behalf of the school, this is Mr. Jasper, the executive producer of the podcast network. Thank you for listening and stay tuned for more.